Hi folks, hope you're doing well. So, if you want to know how well the church is doing, look at how effective the light of that church is. In America, there were 50,000 suicides. 50,000 people in America killed themselves. That is a fruit of the church. Now, of course, people in church hate the idea that you can say that that is a fruit of the church, but of course it is. The whole point of light is that your light shines on darkness, and hope deals with despair. 50,000 people saw no hope. No hope. So as I say, this whole idea that the church thinks that they're doing really well. I keep on saying, look at the fruit. The fruit is what you look at, because in the end, we're told in Scripture to judge according to the fruit. But we have a system right now where the church hates the idea of fruit. Absolutely and totally. Doesn't like the idea of looking at fruit in any way, shape or form. Yeah, the church sees it fruit? No. We shouldn't be looking at fruit. Well, why on earth should we be looking at fruit? We shouldn't be doing that. Yeah. But obviously, fruit. Well, the fruit of the church mattered, or certainly the lack of it mattered to those 50,000 people who took their lives. 50,000 people that were that desperate, that were that hopeless. And as I say, the church thinking that they're doing a good job, yeah. Yeah. And that's what I say. That's why for me, I've always been incredibly impatient with the delusion of those in church. Because the problem is, if you think you're doing okay, you're not addressing the things you need to be addressing. And that's always been church. Always been church. Turn a blind eye to it. Yeah. But as I say, that's taught in Bible college. That you just carry on regardless. And say like those carry on films in the 60s. That you just do that. And hope that God will at some point just come in and rescue things and turn everything around. Yeah. Is any of that scriptural? No. But yeah. You just make it up as you go, I suppose, yeah. Yeah. It's a bizarre situation, to say the least. Yeah. But, yeah, you've got to feel for the families of those 50,000, haven't you, really? And quite likely those families will be blaming God, at least to a certain degree. Yeah. And to those families, do they look at the church and think, oh, you're doing such a good job? Because isn't that the point, really? When you look at anything to see whether it's doing a good job, you don't ask the people in it, are you doing a good job? Because generally speaking, if they want to continue doing what they're doing, they're going to say, of course, we're doing a fantastic job. You ask the people that are impacted by it. As I say, when you get 50,000 people taking their lives, and you get maybe 200,000 or more that are affected by that negatively and look badly upon the church, well then, yeah. Yeah. And it's not just America. Well, and again, when you look at why people do that, you've got the harassment on social media, that's one thing. You've got the fact that people don't feel they're able to be honest and truthful. That they live in a world that if you are honest and truthful, that you can be cancelled. So again, okay, we have a church that believes if you offend someone, that they have the right to ban you from the church. Yeah. Well done, church, you're leading the example. Yeah, society's going to take notice of you and deal with their cancel culture, aren't they? No. No. That's why, to me, I have no problem at all naming and shaming churches that do this. No problem. Because it should be done. It's not about pointing at other people's sin and saying that they should be punished as a result. But it's about saying this is unacceptable. This is not the way that people claiming they're of God should be behaving. Yeah, banning people from church. Jeez. Really? Yeah, if somebody is committing the unforgivable sin, then okay. But asking questions and challenging the way that you're doing things. Yeah, when you're making it all about Yeshua and someone's challenging that, is that really? That's something that you should be banning someone for? Yeah. If someone's doing a terrible job in church and that person does a video and saying they're doing a terrible job in that church right now. Yeah. Again, yeah. Did the pastor ask me to take down the video because I lied? No. He asked me to take down the video because you don't deal with those things outside of church. According to him. But you do. If you try and deal with it in church and they ban you, well, they're telling you can't deal with it in church, can you? You've got to deal with it out of church. So the example of the River Church in Elgin, Scotland, is if you've got an issue with the church, don't try and deal with it in church because they're going to ban you. So you've got to deal with it outside of church. You have to. Because there's no avenue to deal with it in church. You speak to the pastor, but you can't because the pastor's off in America most of the time. Or Mexico. Right? Yeah. Yeah, it's a most bizarre situation. Anyway, you have been enjoying watching Molly and 4 of her pups run around in a lovely field. Of course, while doing that, you have to keep a very, very close eye that there's not other dogs, because you can't have these puppies, coming into contact with other dogs. But that's why a big field like that is ideal for that, because you can see everywhere. It's highly unlikely you're going to get surprised by a dog just running out. You take them to a woods, different matter. Suddenly you can have a dog come around the corner, but there you've got a pretty good view of what's going on. I say for them it's brilliant because it's a much bigger, wider space, and they see a bit more that the world is big rather than a tiny, teeny weeny garden. And they get to play. They get to run around and stretch their legs, and right. It helps with the recall and all of that. So yeah, good fun for them, and no harm come to either puppy. So for any of them, so that's good. So there you go. There you go. I was thinking about that actually, about the fact that they say you can't give chocolate to dogs, you can't do this and that with dogs. Yeah, most of that is rubbish because, I mean, I imagine what happened is 1 or 2 dogs had an issue with chocolate, and so as a way of being ultra safe, they say you can't give chocolate to dogs. Well, yeah, most people know they can't give chocolate to dogs because they love chocolate so much. They wouldn't even, the wife wouldn't even give any to her husband. So she's not going to give it to the dog, is she really? So, yeah. And sometimes the husband loves chocolate so much. He wouldn't share it, so yeah. But, yeah. There's a lot of fear over, but you can't give a dog this, you can't give a dog that. Yeah. The problem is, if it has a negative effect on a number of dogs, then they put out a warning that you shouldn't give dogs this because it can. The thing they don't say is chocolate will kill dogs. They say it could. And so, yeah. No, I'm not saying I've given my dogs chocolate because I haven't. I don't have an awful lot of chocolate around. But I wouldn't be overly bothered if they ate some. And I think actually 1 or 2 have. Well, certainly chocolate biscuits, they've eaten those because they've got into the biscuits without me knowing. And so they've eaten those and had no impact from it at all. So, yeah. Anyway, there you go. Yeah, 50,000. Yeah. There's a lot of people that were hopeless. So, yeah. Certainly is a case that the light isn't doing its job. And that's something that needs to be repaired. So there you go. Have a fantastic week ahead. Be blessed and be a blessing. Enjoy. Hopefully you get weather like that. That was a beautiful day. So, yes. Enjoy. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.